Howdy guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another video of Westland Survival. How we going guys today? So what I want to do is I want to show you a little bit more of an in-depth run at the dark mines. I did go over it in my previous video. If you guys want to have a check on that, go ahead and have a look at that, where I sort of give you guys my first impression on how to run, well, basically running the actual mini event. But today what I want to do is I want to do a little bit more in depth and sort of try and give you a little bit more of focus time on the mine itself. I've ran it numerous times now, so I feel like I'm pretty well versed to, give you my tips and expertise, and feel hopefully you guys should actually benefit from it during the period. So let's go ahead and head right in and do this. And before we actually get into it and give you guys, a bit of a run at it, I'll give you guys my my setup basically. And let's go ahead and do that now. So right now, as you can see, I'm running tier 5 everything. Okay, so I'm not even running anything tier 6 related. So in particular with the weaponry and obviously the clothing and armor. And to give myself a little bit of a debuff, I've just wrangled together the lowest forms of food buffs, okay? Just to sort of articulate and sort of, put the emphasis on as to why it's not as hard as what people may perceive it to be, or difficult in a sense. So I just wanted to give you guys that sort of notion there, so you guys are aware, and you guys have a little bit of an idea on how it all works, right? So let's go ahead and do that now. So what I've got is I've got the Sheriff's combo, okay, so it's a tier 5, it is a rare. The reason why I've chosen this is I feel like it is attainable for a lot of us, that we can actually have tier 5 rare outfits. So I feel like that is something that you guys should be able to obtain. If not, I would imagine things like the Gunslinger shouldn't be too much of an issue. I feel like that should be okay for you guys to use. And look, I am level 113 as well, just to sort of put it out there as well. So my difficulty level should be quite higher. I would, think that a lot of other people would be a lot more higher than myself, but still, just to sort of give you guys that idea, I am in the mix of this sort of stuff. So at least you guys have a bit of an idea on how that all works. And of course, I've got my trusty trench gun, which I feel like it's going to be one of the most important weapons for you guys to use. Shotgun anything is probably my biggest recommendation or suggestion in this sense. And of course, as the backup, I've got my Schofield here. Again, all of them are rare, but again, they're all tier 5 base. I'm going to go ahead and eat these fellas now. As you can see, they are the most basic of food. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So for the most part, what I would recommend that you guys utilize is using the shotgun for most of your interactions when you are attacking the ghosts or the spirits. So we'll go ahead and do that. And it does say as well in the Westland documentation, they did also provide some tips and tricks and things like that of their own as well, which is great that they've done that. But they did mention something about trying to stay within the light source, so you don't actually lose a bit of damage each time you're moving about. Look, to me, I feel like that is fairly impossible to do that, because you're going to do that anyway. You're going to be in the dark, and it's obviously going to be a situation where you're going to have to sort of cop a bit of damage. Now, the Guardian of Darkness, now he comes out, right? So immediately I switched over to my Schofield and used that as part of the I guess my attack onslaught, okay, versus the trench gun that I'm using for all of the others, as the other spirits basically. So that's the only reason why I switch between the two. It does two things. It minimizes me using the one weapon and burning that out in a quick succession. And also it basically just gives me, well, the Schofield, I feel like, in my opinion, is a better focused weapon on a singular target, versus where, as you can see, I've got multiple enemies after me now, and it's just easier for me to use a shotgun to, to attack basically, and to try and take them out in the most efficient way possible. So that's the reason why that I've gone ahead and used that as my option there. Now, as you can see, the Guardian is coming back now. Now with this, you only need to get him down to just under 20k in health, and that will allow you to get away from him, and he will disappear effectively. So during this phase of the actual map itself, you're not going to actually defeat that the Guardian anytime soon until you unlock all the, touch all the altars basically. So as soon as you do that, as I'm doing it now, you're still in darkness, so you're not able to defeat the Guardian in any way, shape or form until the criteria is met. So basically do that as much as you can. As you can see, I'm sort of running around and taking out the fellas here as quickly as possible. And I guess what we'll do as well, as soon as we're done with the first run, because we're going to be doing it twice, right? Just to give you guys an idea, I do this twice daily so I can actually get all the pumpkins and all that sort of stuff, and the chips and the coins, and that way it gives me a little bit more, I guess, better emphasis to trying to, you know, get the Wheel of Fortune happening, because I really want that husky. I want that gold. I want that ghostly husky. That's just me. That is just me. All right, let's continue on and try to take out this fella. There we go. Let's switch over to the Schofield. Here he comes. And oh, I've got some other enemies onto me. That's okay. Quickly, immediately switch back to the trench. There we go. And you notice on my the heals that I've actually implemented. So I've got the Indian tribe. Indigenous. Sorry, God, I can't even say that. Indigenous ointment, which is a tier 4. I've only used about 5 so far, just to sort of give you guys a bit of an idea. So I feel pretty confident that I'll be able to get through with the stack that I have for the first run, but for the second run I'm not so sure. So we'll see how we go with that. But like I said, I've done a lot of test runs with this, and I feel like I'm in that category of people that could actually give you the right information, and I feel like we can do this quite well, and I think you guys can do this quite well too. I might even end up doing another video where I can try and do a very minimalistic approach, but then again, it's going to sort of skew, and I guess that's the problem as well, especially when you're at a particular level and you're trying to debuff yourself in a sense, and you use lesser grade quality everything. It's going to sort of hurt a lot of players, like including myself, because I'm so high up there. Not at the peak, but pretty much there, as I like to sort of think that. But yeah, like I said, I feel like doing justice to myself in that respect, I think might not be the best approach. So I'm sort of trying to counterbalance it, but I feel like, I guess an opportunity for me is to reduce the clothing, maybe the armor. And if I go down to a lesser grade armor, that might actually help me out. But we'll see. We'll see how we go with that. If I get the time to do it, I will definitely do it. 100%. Alright, so we are at the end of this as well, by the way. So these are 6-minute runs, right? So you get 6 minutes to clear everyone out. It feels like it's going to take forever. It really doesn't. I guess the best thing in my recommendation is, and I've been chatting to you guys as well, so I haven't been fully focused on doing all this, but we're taking out the Guardian now. I've got plenty of time, okay? Don't think there's not enough time in doing this. For me, I've got plenty of time, and I can do this like that, basically. If I'm really onto it, I could probably do this with about 2 minutes left to go in the actual event itself. So I think that's the fastest I've recorded myself doing that. So yeah, I feel like that's probably the best way to do it. So we'll go ahead and complete that. Let's go in and do it once more for you guys to have another go at it, and we'll get stuck into it. What I want to sort of focus on is trying to make it as efficient as possible. Now, before we jump into it, I know the time is ticking, but this is what I've used, and this is the degradation on my clothing and my weapon. So the trench gun I use the most, so out of 330, I got 187, so over half. So you can still do 2 full runs. And with the Schofield, I've actually got quite a bit of durability on that. And of course, my armor seems pretty good. So I feel like we're in a good position to get all this happening. So let's go ahead and try and get these guys in a grouped fashion so we can try and take them out as soon as possible. And I guess that's what's going to be key for a lot of people. If you try and get as many targets as close by, and sometimes you can do it, and other times you can't, which is fine. But as you can see, we are taking these fellas out. There's 3 of them, I think. 2 or 3? No, there's 2. Okay, so let's come up here. There's 3 of them coming at me now. That's cool. Let's see if we can try and take them all out as you can see, we've got all of them out nice and easy, relatively easy I should say, but you're not always going to get it like that. Now I feel like that's important to note as well. So whilst it might make good sense to try and get them grouped in as quickly as possible, you're not going to get it in a timely manner, because if you're going to forever run around, it's going to be hard for one to actually get that cluster of enemies, so you can actually take them out in a quick way. So again, it's just something that I just want to sort of mention, so that way you guys aren't, you know, forever doing it and wasting time in doing so. So it might actually still make more economic sense, depending on how lucky you are, I guess. So I guess luck does play a bit of a role in that. So if you can do it, great, because it just means that you're going to finish the event quicker, and it gives you a little bit more time and leeway to take out the Guardian, so to speak. So again, like I said, it's just one of those things that you just need to focus on. But as you can see the worth of the shotgun. The shotgun does deal the best damage. It does deal the best hit rate for taking out these enemies. So again, it's credit to where even that of the developers have mentioned in their little notes as well, to suggest that use a shotgun, because the shotgun is going to give you the best flexibility in taking out you know, multiple targets at once. So yeah, if you can stick to it, then yeah, it's obviously going to help you, and also it's going to save a bit of degradation on your actual weapons, because you're not using a handgun as an example, where you're taking out single enemies at once, you know, one at a time, sorry, I should say. Yeah, is there a third? There should be a third here. I think there's only just two here. I might have just taken them out beforehand. That's fine. But anyway, as you guys can see, we're moving along quite quickly, and this is another thing you can do as well. You've got enemies here that are protected by a gate, and you can only unlock the gate until you touch the altar, so to speak. So what you could do is you could take out the enemy there before you actually head onto the actual altar to touch it, and obviously move on and open up the next section of the actual of the mine. So keep that in mind as well. If you can actually do that, and you've got that ability to do that, you can actually do that without incurring any damage. Okay, so that's something else that you guys can actually do as well. Now I've got to quickly open up this one for me to open up the other one. I know that the Guardian's going to come, so we're just going to prepare ourselves, and as quickly as possible, trying to get it down to 20k. Sometimes he does try to get one more hit on you before you before he disappears. But the idea with that is if you can try and sort of get a bit of distance between you and the Guardian while you're shooting, then in most cases, if not all, he should disappear. So I guess that's the easiest way to sort of you know, explain it to everyone. Now we've got just a bit over 2 minutes and 30 seconds on this, so we should be able to get these guys taken care of fairly quickly actually. Let's go ahead and do that. And we've got the miner. We've got another one over here. Is there any more? Okay, so there's 3. If I can do that, if they can come in a little cluster, that'd be great. Doesn't look like I had that luxury, unfortunately, but that's okay. That is okay, because he just stood up there, unfortunately, and so I didn't actually get. Again, there's a blocker. So the gate, as soon as you touch that altar, that allows the opening of the gate, and that brings you into the fray here, and you can go into the next section of the mine. So yeah, continue on. We go, and you, my sir, are done, and you, my sir, are done as well. Basically, ran into a little bit of trouble, but we're okay. Like I said, I'm not even worried. About my health there. All right, does he come back out again? Now sometimes the Guardian doesn't always come out, so it's just also something to note as well. So you're not always going to get attacked by a Guardian every time that you open up a certain section, so just bear that in mind. So in most cases, I think out of all the times that he does it before the final battle, you might find that he doesn't do it one of those times. So I think he does it about 3 or 4 times, and one of those times he just doesn't actually come out. So, which is a positive thing for you guys too. All right, beautiful. Let's just switch over to one of those as well. Switch over to my Schofield, and yes, I didn't actually do it as a speed time, but that's okay. Like I said, this is more for educational purposes for you guys, so you guys are aware on how this all sort of works. I better heal before I die, so let's go ahead and do a bit of a run. Like I said, I've got plenty of time. I may as well run towards the end here and get myself out as soon as possible, so at least this way we know that I don't have to travel too far and I can take him out quite easily. There you go. And there you have it, guys. That's how I run the Dark Mines. And I guess, look, as a final piece to this, and I know that a lot of people were struggling with this, and I've seen them in the socials and comments, even some of the comments on my videos as well, that people find it difficult to run the Dark Mines. It's really not that hard. Again, it all boils down to your level and your ability with what weaponry equipment that you have available to you, etc. So keep that in mind. But for me, like I said, this is my run at it. As I mentioned, the only debuff I gave myself was only giving myself a little bit of food buffs and water, so I didn't really have an overarching power enhancement or health enhancement or anything like that, so I kept it quite minimal just to illustrate the point and show you guys that it is definitely attainable. It's possible. You guys can do it. I know you guys can do it. So I guess the other reason why I sort of emphasize this, and I want to use this as a base for a lot of you guys as well, is that I feel like that this type of event is the starting of other events further down the line, where there's going to be other variations of a Dark Mine, and I feel like that's something that you guys would probably expect to see. I expect to see it, to be perfectly fair. So whenever the next event comes through, whether it be the Christmas event next up, I feel like there's going to be some snowy mines, things of that nature. We might going to need to have an element situation, so we might have to have warm clothing, things like that might come into play. So I feel like that's something that's going to be a thing. I feel like this is a success as a mini event. Personally, that's just my humble opinion. So again, as I mentioned, familiarize yourself with it, and I feel like you guys will make it an easy venture. It is a little tedious because you're gonna have to do it twice if you're wanting to get all the rewards and things like that as well inside the cauldron here. To give you guys an idea, I'm only up to level 9, trying to make my way through it as as quick as possible. There is the case of going over to the Westland hub, and now I know a lot of people have questioned this as well and how to do it. The way that I trigger it is you go into the Harvest Fair is coming, go into more info. Now, there's a section where you can actually bind your account, okay? So the way to do that is you need to get your ID at the bottom here of this screen, so not mine obviously, but your own, copy it, and then when you're in the Westland hub, you essentially pop in and bind your account to the Westland hub. And then after that, you can go into the menu selection on the left hand corner if you're using a mobile device, and then from there you can basically go into the Harvest Fair specific, and then you can scroll down to the bottom and claim your 5 free pumpkins. So you can do that on a daily basis. That's the best way I can do it. If you guys want me to illustrate that a little bit more, let me know and I'll see if I can try and whip something up for you guys. But other than that, I'm going to leave this here. I want to thank you guys for stopping by, checking out this one. Make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and share if you can. If you guys are new to the channel or not and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell icon so you don't miss out on any future videos that I make. Alright guys, take it easy, and as always, I will catch you guys in the next one.